What's happening to Vybz Kartel in the Cayman Islands is totally insane. The government is literally sending immigration officers to Vybz Kartel concert, not to enjoy the concert and doing police work, but to police Vybz Kartel lyrics and make sure say Vybz Kartel not doing anything explicit or anything out of line. Else them are put him back on a plane and send him straight back to where him come from. The people, this get crazy. Before we get into the details, please like and subscribe. On always I watch a video and not like, I don't know why. But anyways, we see in the headlines, my people, Vybz Kartel controversial performer faces lyrics restrictions for Cayman debut. You know, this is first performance since release in the Cayman Islands. You know, Vybz Kartel is headlining the Out of the World Music Fest on 30th of May. And a lot of people not having it. A lot of people don't like Vybz Kartel coming into their country and performing.
But our word to Mr. Vybz Kartel and the promoters right now is this. We are definitely against your coming here to sing and parade.
As somebody who's worked for a church, while it's disappointing, it's not surprising at all that so many churches are trying to oppose Vybz Kartel coming to Cayman.
You know, the leader of the Cayman Island having a little meeting about Vybz Kartel. So someone actually sent a message and a video to the premier directly of Vybz Kartel. And this is what it said. I sent you a few of his vulgar videos. She told the premier directly. Is this what you are expecting to see when he comes here to perform? But my people, let's get real. Vybz Kartel is an entertainer. Vybz Kartel get paid to entertain adults. Vybz Kartel is not doing kids content. Let's make that very clear.
Vybz Kartel is set to perform on May 30th in the Cayman Island. But the government and his co-conspirators are trying to restrict his movement and his lyrics. It seems like the Cayman Island is trying to repeat what happened in Trinidad and Tobago. So your co-conspirators are on the phone chatting the man. You guys are bitch. Your co-conspirators on the phone carrying news about the man. You guys are snitch. The church ideology about raising a child is backwards. Lyrics cannot make or break a child's behavior.
Exactly.
It starts foundation at home. Parents. That's what it is. Nothing else. This man is an entertainer, freedom of expression. That's it. He's bringing tourists to the Cayman Island. That's all. He's performing for his fan base. That's all. If it was the old Vybz Kartel, his fans, and Vybz Kartel would have told you to SYU and move about his business. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. I'm going to say alleged. But because this is the new growth Vybz Kartel, business-minded, he got nothing to do with that. You can see. He's an entertainer. That's all. The church ideology is backwards. Foundation starts at home. Entertainer, nothing else. Just saying.
So for sure, this is totally wild, my people, you know what I mean? Me don't think the restriction on the lyrics are going to be a problem for Vybz Kartel, you know what I mean? Because him always can make the crowd sing along, you know what I mean? Or even keep it clean. That is no problem, you know what I mean? But the restriction of movements and like having immigration officers standing there to make sure say him nah do nothing explicit any at all, that is just wild to me. You get to me, some people. So tell me anything about all of that down in the comment section below. If Vybz Kartel should just cancel this show overall, or him should just work with the procedure. You know what I mean? Let me all know what you think about that in the comment section, my people.
As somebody who's worked for a church, while it's disappointing, it's not surprising at all that so many churches are trying to oppose Vybz Kartel coming to Cayman. It highlights the disassociation they seem to have from their own beliefs and the lack of focus that they have on what their goals are supposed to be as a church. Because while they'll say that they're trying to protect the island and protect the youth, what they're really trying to do is gain power and influence. Because when you're constantly trying to control what people are allowed to do, or what people are allowed to participate in, or what people are allowed to listen to, you're really looking to control who influences them. And the church does a pretty okay job at control and influence over the population. But the problem is that it's normally done through fear. And I think that if you want to have influence over people, the best way to gain that influence is not through fear. Especially when you're promoting a loving God. There's gonna be a bunch of people saying, oh, well, people aren't perfect and the church isn't perfect. We're all just imperfect people trying. But why do you have so much grace for the church and the harm that the church does to people, but you don't have that same grace for Vybz Kartel? Saying any of this because I'm a big fan of Vybz Kartel or anything like that. I barely listen to his music, but because I think it highlights something important about the church's need for power and control and influence. All the while, you almost never see them step out into the public and do anything to protect children. I mean, look at this 20% increase in sexual crimes against children. Radio silence. Look at all of the kids who have been missing recently and found with grown men. Radio silence. Look at all the kids who are left alone after school, at home. No supervision, nobody to feed them, nobody to help them with homework, nobody to make sure that they're safe. Because their parents don't have a choice. They can't afford childcare, they can't afford after-school activities. And a lot of kids sit at home alone. Radio silence. Look at the lack of activities and spaces for young people on this island. Where's the petition to the government to partner with them to create spaces for young people where they can spend time in a safe environment? Radio silence. When the depth of somebody's hate or dislike for somebody drives them to do more than the depth of their love, you know their heart intentions are off. Because when you love someone, that should drive you to do things you never knew you could do, to make changes you never knew you could make. And yet, what we see constantly is people who are driven and motivated by hate and dislike of other people. And there's going to be a bunch of Christians saying, well, it's my love for God that drives me to stop Vybz Kartel from coming here. But their love for God wouldn't drive them to serve their community that's sitting behind their church, their $1 million church building, or whatever building they have. It wouldn't drive them to go out into that community or any community and walk around and ask, what can I do for you? Do you need food? Do you need clothes? Do you need food vouchers? Do you need help with your bills? How can we serve you? I mean when I say a lot of churches have lost the plot. Because isn't that what Jesus did all the time?
I mean, Vybz Kartel been saying that years now, you know what I mean, that he is an entertainer, which he is. He do music to entertain. You get what I'm saying, my people? And right now, there's no underage people actually are going to at that Vybz Kartel concert. Let's check out this old interview of Vybz Kartel explaining this very well.
Social responsibility cartel. Do you think you owe a responsibility to the children on a whole or just public in general in terms of your lyrics and content and all of them stuff? Do you think you need to be censored?
No, I don't, you know what I mean? Because that's what I'm trying to tell Jamaica people. I'm an artist, I'm an entertainer. I get paid to entertain. I'm not a religious leader and I'm not a political leader. You know what I mean? So I shouldn't be held responsible for growing a child. Responsibility should be held with the parents or adults around the parents, meaning teachers at school, meaning the same driver with themselves, the loud music. You know what I mean? Artists are just entertainers and I put out adult content. What I do is for adults. You know what I mean? However, the censorship of my music shouldn't be directly from Vybz Kartel saying that, oh, you can't do a song that with curse words. Censorship should come from where the song goes in terms of it can reach in your house, that a little 5-year-old can hear it. You know what I mean? So we don't have any social responsibility as far as I'm concerned with my music. You know what I mean? Straight up.
All right, so what do you have to say to parents, for example, if a parent saw you on the road and say, you know, I hate you, what would your response be to that parent with them thinking or saying to themselves that, yeah, corrupt them picnic?
No, well, I would have to look in, I wouldn't even answer, I wouldn't even, you know what I mean, dignify that response with an answer because I have kids of my own, you know what I mean, and I'm sure I'm growing my kids in the right and proper way, you know what I mean, they attend good schools.
Your kids listen to your music?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
So, Ramping Shop, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, how old, I mean, is your youngest?
6 and 4.
6 and 4. So if you hear your youngest, you know, singing the content or Ramping Shop, you wouldn't be offended at all?
I never heard him singing it, you know, but the greatest thing about it, I never heard a teacher at school saying he sang it either. You know what I mean? When I get reports from the school about my children, always good reports. You know what I mean? So it's all about how you grow your child.
But remember to leave a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't as yet for the latest in dancehall music and reviews. Anyways, I'm out until next time.